A special report tonight as Apocalypse News exclusively reveals wheels in motion to merge the US and UK in a pact of specialness. Keep watching! Yeehaw! Howdy, partner, and welcome to Apocalypse News. I'm here today to talk about a merger between the United States of America and the United Kingdom. Is how I could be sounding in a few years if the merger goes through. With me on the line from Boise, Idaho, is Leonard Purpose, who is a diplomat for the British government, and he is on a state-to-state tour to sell this deal to the public in the United States. And of course, trusty old Felicity Trebuchet.
Old?
Well, you know, probably younger than me. I don't know. We've never really talked about it. She's a resident champagne socialist. This is fair enough. Leonard, you're over there in Boise. How are the Americans taking to the idea of 1776 revisited? The Brits are coming, or are the Americans absorbing the Brits? What do you say?
Things are looking really positive out in the streets here.
The streets of Boise.
Yeah, the streets of Boise are very excited about the Brits coming back. It's about time that this special relationship between the UK and the United States finally came full circle again.
Merges into
an abomination.
Well, that's hardly surprising. Hardly surprising. Felicity's not a massive fan.
Look, you can't be a fan of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of why you're here. So tell me, Felicity, what problem could you possibly have with the two greatest countries that have ever existed?
Well, how long have you
finally
got?
getting in bed together?
Horrendous. It's not going to work. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not changing the way I say things. I'm not having half and half in my coffee. I'm not saying aluminum.
So that is actually. I mean, I thought we'd be making light of things, but Felicity actually brings up quite a serious point. There's no way a deal such as this could be ratified if the British people are expected to use the word aluminum.
Absolutely not.
Leonard, that's no joke. That's pretty serious.
Look, Felicity is very misinformed on this. I'd advise her to look over the planned proposals for this merger.
Yeah.
Nothing will change for the Brits. If anything, all that's happening is we will be gaining a lot of things. We will become the 51st state of the United States, and King Charles will become the Vice President of the United States.
Right.
Those are two really exciting things. In terms of language, our language is going to stay exactly the same.
And what? Just out of interest, I know we're in preliminary discussions. What will the new country be called?
We will still stay as the United Kingdom, but America will probably refer to us as the British state.
The British state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Britain.
Well, that doesn't sound like a massive change whatsoever. So King Charles is as the Vice President, which is obviously an extremely important job. Felicity, I think of the Battle of Hastings, Battle of Agincourt, Crécy, Towton, Verdun, Passchendaele, the Somme, D-Day, El Alamein. Great British moments in history, all around mass war and battles, which is one of the things that we're truly great at. Is there a danger that all this wonderful history gets lost as we are absorbed into the American superstate?
Quite possibly, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's all just
history.
War, and it's all just horrendous.
Tradition.
We're all as bad as each other.
Tradition, Felicity.
Yes. Let's get rid of it. Let's start anew. For goodness' sake, can we move on?
Tradition is how we know how to put one foot in front of the other.
How to repeat ourselves and keep up with these wars and these battles. And no, thank you.
We are very. I forgot to mention Waterloo. Another thing, where we were really great. We are masters of murder, masters of killing. Always have been. The United States following that tradition perfectly. Leonard, militarily, the United States spend a huge amount of money on weaponry, on armour, on ships and planes. We do as well, although on a much smaller scale. How is that going to work?
Well,
the merger there.
Well, America have always been a very special and close ally to the United Kingdom.
The most special. They always say it.
As part of this merger, there will be American army bases placed into British soil. A lot more defence spending will skyrocket. In fact, we'll have more defence systems landing in the UK from American soil.
They know where our nuclear subs are. Then we'll have to tell them, obviously, because we'll be the same country.
Yeah, which is a good thing because we have common enemies and we can defend and help each other in these difficult political decisions. Felicity,
King Charles, the Vice President of the United States of America, Britain, okay? The President, presumably an American, has a bad pizza. He's feeling sick.
Right.
And a rogue nation in that moment decides this is the time to attack our wonderful combined forces. King Charles' finger hovers over the nuclear button. Will you allow him to press it?
Me personally?
Yes.
No! Of course not. No one should be pressing anything.
No buttons to be pressed at all.
Well, I hope not. Oh, we're all as bad as each other. This is a disaster. All of it is a disaster.
Well, I think certain buttons need to be pressed.
You're
Another
pressing my
example.
buttons.
Another example of the deal. We've already discussed aluminum, which is extremely important. Apparently, Graceland in Tennessee is being turned into a Beatles museum.
Yes.
As part of them taking on British culture.
Exactly.
Okay.
Finally, the Beatles Museum that we have all been begging for. And the Americans are very excited over here. The Beatles were huge here, and it's a real celebration of British culture.
And there's no pro Elvis pushback here.
There's not a lot of pro Elvis pushback. Elvis has had his time. His ending
if you listen to some people, he's still alive. I mean, that's what they say. Although he would be pretty elderly, I think.
Well, the Elvis movie was 2.5 hours. The Get Back documentary was a good 6-7 hours of footage. So
I think that's actually a very good comparison. That's a very good comparison because
so why not?
think So if you give Elvis a score of 2.5, then you give the Beatles a score of 6.
Exactly.
Lastly, I think we've already touched on language with the abhorrent aluminum. The letter U. Americans hate it. They're on record. That's why they won't even use it in the word you. They'll go yo. We've been seeing that for decades. Yo. We care about the letter U in this country. We have inserted it for centuries into important words that they have flagrantly disregarded. Surely, a vital part of the deal that is being negotiated is the retention of the letter U in several words.
Absolutely. And look, I want to make it very clear now to all Brits watching, we will be keeping the letter U. That is for sure, absolutely. Americans may still spell it the way that they traditionally have, but we will still be keeping the letter U. There is no intention to get rid of it. And if anything, there will be talks post the signing of this deal. There will still be negotiations ongoing for many years. and maybe in that time we can strike up a deal to teach Americans how to use it properly, and maybe even pronounce some words.
Yeah, they do need a lot of help.
Always have.
They do need a lot of help. Felicity, is you important to you?
Of course it is. It's how you spell a word correctly. Goodness me.
There's no U
Correctly
in correctly.
it doesn't have a U.
Okay.
There's no U in okay.
Very clever.
There's no U in very clever. Could you come, Felicity? I'm trying to get this to work. Could you come up with a word, please, that has the letter U in it? Because otherwise, you're undermining everything every point I'm trying to make here.
Yes.
Unimpressed.
Very good, Leonard. Very
Thank
good.
you,
Unfortunately, Felicity, much like her politics, hasn't thought it through. Is very disappointing. Leonard, where are you off to next?
I'm off to Montana.
Montana, yeah, the neighbouring state of Idaho. That makes more sense than potentially going to somewhere like Georgia, because you can do it by road. So, people of Montana, there aren't very many of them, not too many to sway.
No.
Are you looking forward to that one?
Looking forward to it. You know, a lot of cowboys, lot of ranches, lots of people on the ground to chat to and encourage and make sure that they are excited about
Excited
this
to drink some tea.
Excited to have the Brits come back, finally.
Excited to have us come back and have our king as their vice president.
Yes, I think they will be.
And colour with a U, and Elvis obviously heading into storage. Thanks very much, Leonard, for all of that. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear that this important merger is being taken so well by the United Statians. And Felicity, it's always something to have you in the room. Okay.